There was a time when you believed that the only way forward was through force, that if something felt difficult, it meant you had to push harder. That struggle was proof you were on the right path. That success required sacrifice, sometimes even pieces of yourself you could never get back. But now, something feels different. You've started to notice the moments when life flows effortlessly, when decisions come without overthinking, when peace arrives not because everything is perfect, but because you finally allowed yourself to feel it anyway. You've begun to trust those spaces where nothing seems to be happening, and yet everything is shifting beneath the surface. That's feminine energy at work, not in grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but in quiet transformation, in breath, in pause, in presence, in surrender. And once you begin to align with this energy, you start to see how much of your past exhaustion came from resisting what was already unfolding. You spent years trying to control outcomes instead of trusting the process. You chased validation instead of cultivating self-worth. You forced love where there was none. You silenced your intuition to follow someone else's map. And all the while, the answers were inside you, waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear them. Because feminine energy doesn't shout. It whispers. It waits. It knows. And now you're listening. And in that listening, you are changing. Not by fixing anything, not by forcing growth, but by returning to yourself, to your rhythm, to your truth. And as you do, something powerful begins to unfold. Your choices become clearer, not because you've suddenly gained all the wisdom in the world, but because you've stopped clouding it with fear. Your boundaries grow stronger, not because you learn new strategies, but because you finally understand your worth. Your relationships deepen, not because you changed anyone else, but because you showed up more fully as yourself. That's the ripple effect of feminine energy. It doesn't just change your mindset, it changes your entire being. Because this energy isn't about doing, it's about being. It isn't about proving, it's about embodying. It isn't about chasing peace, it's about becoming it. And people feel it when you live like that. They sense your calm in the chaos. They notice your confidence without arrogance. They see your strength expressed through grace. And they begin to question their own patterns. Not because you told them to, but because your presence reminds them of a deeper truth they've forgotten. That power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it radiates quietly. And that's why millions are waking up to this shift, not because it's trendy, but because it speaks directly to the exhaustion so many carry, the burnout, the emotional overload, the longing to be seen, not just successful, to be loved, not just liked, to be known, not just admired. And if you're here, if you're still listening, it means you're ready too. Ready to stop fighting against yourself. Ready to stop pushing life to bend to your will. Ready to stop sacrificing peace at the altar of productivity. Because deep inside, you were never meant to survive. You were meant to thrive, to live with purpose, to move with ease, to create from joy rather than pressure, or to lead from connection rather than control. This is the feminine energy shift. And it's not just changing individuals.